finance minister's interviews happening right now in Doordarshan.
अगर आप इन्वेस्ट भी किए तो अब का इंडस्ट्री का रिक्वायरमेंट अलग हो गया है, इसलिए उन आईटीआईज में ये इक्विपमेंट इंडस्ट्री 4.0 को जो चाहिए इक्विपमेंट वो सब खरीद कर हम रखेंगे और इसमें प्राइवेट सेक्टर का साथ ले रहे हैं। वो हमारे साथ और राज्य सरकार के साथ काम करके 10th पास करके छोड़कर बाहर आने वाले लड़कियों को आईटीआई के द्वारा जहां ट्रेनिंग मिलना है, स्किलिंग होना है, जिसके बाद उनको कुछ डिप्लोमा वगैरह मिलता है, उसमें भी हम पैसा डाल करके युवाओं को अच्छा ट्रेनर्स को सैलरी दे करके उधर ट्रेनिंग का। सो फर्स्ट टाइम एम्प्लॉय, सेकेंड टाइम एम्प्लॉय, सेकेंड और थर्ड टाइम एम्प्लॉय, फ्रेश 10th स्टैंडर्ड स्किलिंग और फाइनली इंटर्नशिप के विषय में मैं गर्व से कहना चाह रही हूँ 1 करोड़ युवा डायरेक्टली उस इंटर्नशिप से बेनिफिट करेंगे, क्योंकि टॉप 500 कंपनीज के साथ भारत सरकार बात करेगी और उनके सीएसआर के द्वारा वो इसमें जोड़ सकते हैं कि अच्छा ट्रेनर्स भी रखें उनके कंपनी के द्वारा और कंपनी शॉप फ्लोर में इन लोगों को एक्सपोजर दे, हैंड्स ऑन लर्निंग का इंटर्नशिप दें, 1 साल पूरे इंटर्नशिप दें और उसके बाद अगर ये बाहर आएंगे उनके सीवी में टॉप 500 कंपनी के एक कंपनी इनको इंटर्नशिप दिया तो इनका वैल्यू बढ़ेगी, जॉब में रेडीनेस बढ़ेगी एम्प्लॉयर को इनको रेन। ऐसे करके 5 स्कीम्स जिसके द्वारा युवाओं को एकदम उनके हर स्तर के लिए ट्रेनिंग का मॉड्यूल बना करके हम आगे आए हैं। ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का हर एक स्कीम के ऊपर ध्यान दिला करके टेलर मेड स्कीम्स तैयार हुआ है।
Madam Finance Minister, you've given a provision for 1.52 lakh crore rupees for the agriculture sector and 2.66 lakh crore rupees for rural development, including rural infrastructure. So effectively, how does this meet the goal of what the economic survey was looking at as making agriculture an engine for growth?
See, one thing I want to dispel. When we say these kind of amounts, people don't realize these are other than what is running as schemes. Manrega, nobody mentioned in the budget. Madam Finance Minister has not mentioned Manrega. It doesn't mean that I'm going to stop Manrega to run this. They are on demand programs which keep going, for which I've made provision. I have not mentioned it in the speech, but it is in my records. It's in the budget revenue expenditure ka statement jahan hai, you get that there. So this misconceived notion that if it doesn't appear in the speech, it's not at all there is wrong. I want to make that plain.
Right.
Now, when you have rightly quoted the amounts for agriculture, we are saying what is very important is to reach to the farmers such inputs which are worthy for them to toil in the soil. So it's one thing you give MSPs, it's one thing you give Kisan Samman Nidhi, all that will go on.
Right.
But Kisan today requires high quality seeds, better inputs, and for that good research with which we can. I made one announcement also in this budget, 109 varieties of seeds, both for field crops and also for horticulture.
And also the climate resilient.
For climate resilient seeds. Most of our farmers today buy seeds which can't take this extreme heat, sudden flooding, and then also sometimes scarcity of irrigatable waters and so on. So I'm very proud that Indian agriculture scientists of themselves come up with this 109 resilient varieties, which I'm sure will soon be launched, and they will be, we'll be taking it down to the farmer so that they can benefit.
All developed in India, ma'am?
All developed in India.
Okay.
And even better is we are looking at giving input support also to the farmers. As I said, more than 50% of his input cost should be met by the amounts that we give them. So these are great detail. And rural development is looking at not just PM Gram Sadak Yojana, not just building homes, PM Awas Yojana, where big amounts are going, that is important. 3 crore new homes. 25,000 new Gram Panchayats will get road network. Over and above this, we are looking at actually hard infrastructure in the rural areas, whether you're having silos for storage of grains, whether you've got power, actually three-phase power going there with smart meters, and making sure that 5G connectivity reaches them. Because today, e-commerce for agriculture, for MSME, for meeting the global markets, is a requirement in the villages.
And this special vegetable clusters, ma'am, also it may help this, fighting the food inflation.
Yes. Because the supply side management of perishable crops is a very big challenge for any government. We have a group of ministers which looks at the situation every 15 days and imports from some countries, from Nepal, from somewhere else, and redistributes. But if we are able to manage a perishable crops in its production, storage and redistribution better, we'll be able to control prices. You're right in pointing that out.
वित्त मंत्री जी, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने फर्स्ट रिएक्शन जो डीडी नेटवर्क पर दिया उसमें आपको बधाई दी, आपकी टीम को बधाई दी, साथ ही उन्होंने कहा कि ये बेटर ग्रोथ और ब्राइट फ्यूचर के लिए दिया गया बजट है। अब जब आपने एक रोड मैप इंटरिम बजट में आपने प्रॉमिस किया था कि हम विकसित भारत का रोड मैप देंगे, आपने इस पूर्ण बजट में दिया। ये जो 9 पिलर्स आपने डिफाइन किए हैं, आपको लगता है कि ये एक विकसित भारत की नींव रखते हैं, और किस तरह से इसके पीछे का दर्शन थोड़ा सा समझाएंगे हमारे दर्शकों को प्लीज?
बिल्कुल, ये 9 पर्टिकुलर आइटम्स स्पेसिफिकली हमने बोला है। आप अगर अब देखेंगे यूजुअल क्लेम्स ऑफ हाउसेस, रोड्स, ये नहीं है। इन एवरी वन ऑफ देम एक फ्यूचरिस्टिक ध्यान दिया गया। फर्स्ट पॉइंट ऑन एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्टिविटी रिलेटेड, क्योंकि वोट ऑन अकाउंट बजट में हमने एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च के लिए भी और अभी भी एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च के लिए बहुत बड़ा फंड अनाउंस करी, और उसके द्वारा मॉडर्नाइज करने के लिए एग्रीकल्चर में क्रॉप पैटर्न के लिए, और ये 400 गांव में जाकर के खरीफ क्रॉप का, लैंड असेसमेंट का और फार्मर्स रजिस्ट्री में एंटर करने के लिए
डीपीआई का इस्तेमाल,
ये सब फ्यूचरिस्टिक फॉर मॉडर्नाइजिंग इंडियाज एग्रीकल्चर, वो एक पॉइंट है। फिर सोशल जस्टिस के साथ प्रधानमंत्री उन्नत ट्राइबल विलेज, इसमें 63,000 villages in which there are tribal majority villages. We are going to absolutely provide everything to make them compare with any other better managed ग्राम पंचायत।
5 करोड़ जनजाति,
हाँ, 5 करोड़ जनजाति को। सो सोशल जस्टिस मतलब ये सिर्फ नहीं है कि आप अच्छे कहीं स्कूल चलाओ और जिसमें वंचित वर्गों का बच्चे को ले आओ, वो भी करना, ये भी करना।
मैम, working women's hostel, creches, women specific skilling programs, promotion of market access for self-help groups, these are some of the things you mentioned, and you said that women's led development will see an allocation of more than 3 lakh crore rupees. Could you specify some of the, how this is going to be spent?
See, actually speaking, we have been consistently maintaining that the emphasis for bringing more women to productive activities will have to be continued. And that is why in economic survey yesterday, you saw the figures that from somewhere close to 2018, 16.7% to 37%, women's participation in workforce has been highlighted in the economic survey. So in the last 10 years, where we started with a simple Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, to bringing more women and incentivizing women in work and providing them, loans to uplift them. Even in this budget, we have given emphasis for land and property registration for women. So like that, at every stage when we center focus on women, it has brought in a bit of a mindset change, like the way in which in the rural areas, Drone Didi has actually not just made women to be able to operate drones, but the mindset in the village that our women can just not do our regular kitchen work, but here are they in the fields, which are essentially male dominated. Only for the haranguing, monotonous physical labor, de-weeding the field, do you find women coming. But here in the villages, women are operating drone. They are able to make assessment of the crop density. They are able to use it for spraying fertilizer, chemical and so on. And if this is how villages and their mindsets are changing towards women, it gives them a prominence. So in many of that is why, if you remember last time, we had come up with a special savings scheme, Mahila Samman Bachat Nidhi. What a response we had in it. Because people realize saving in the name of women actually helps. They've come out to invest. Women have themselves come out, and women themselves are saving in some other, their child or their mother's names. Right. So this government has not lost an opportunity in bringing to focus women and women's needs. Whether it is the simple sanitary pad, which Honorable PM spoke about, even from Red Fort, you can see the priority is given for women, and that's what has explained why 3 lakh crores for women and women-led. Today, Anganwadis are standing out for the kind of quality work that they're doing. They can be even better improved. You're going to have early childhood education centers in those Anganwadis.